Hi, and welcome. You're listening to the X22 Report. My name is Dave, and this is episode 1510 and today's date is March 1st, 2018, and the title of the episode is, It's Official, Countries Talked About Dumping the Dollar, and Now They Are Doing It. Let's get into the economic collapse financial news. Now, we are definitely seeing a battle going on with this market. I mean, one day it's up, the next day it's way down, and we need to understand that this market is completely manipulated. It's being controlled by two different factions. We have the central bankers, we have the Trump administration, who has the high-frequency trading, the plunge protection team. We have the central bankers who have the equipment in the basement of the Fed to control the stock market. They also have central banks pour in a lot of dollars into the stock market to pump it up. They also have the banks doing the same exact thing. And at this point, we can see there's a battle going on with this market. While this is all happening, the entire economic system is breaking down and falling apart. Now, we've been seeing the retail apocalypse where there's a lot of stores, they've declared bankruptcy. A lot of stores have gone out of business. We see Macy's, which we discussed yesterday, where they're changing how they're doing business, where they're going to more of a discount type of model. We also see Best Buy right now. They are closing around 250 of its mobile phone stores. And what's very interesting about all of this, if you go back to 2011, 2012, their strategy was to reduce the big stores by like 10%, close some of those stores, and open a lot of these smaller mobile phone stores because they thought they were going to be much, much more profitable, and they were going to put them in all the different malls. Well, we can see that is not happening right now, and this whole entire plan is falling apart. The thing that these retailers need to understand, it's not because everyone's going to online. It's that the people just don't have the funds to pay anymore. And this is why when they're trying to do all these things, it doesn't work. Even with the discount stores, they're going to find that sales are going to start to drop off because eventually what will happen is as people lose their jobs and as salaries continually decline and as the system deteriorates, guess what? They won't be able to charge, they'll have no savings, and they're not going to be going out spending. They're just going to survive on what they have. Now, we see the jobless claims. They have crashed to new lows. We've not seen this since 1969, the Nixon administration. Now, let's think about this for a second. At that time, and we know that the central bankers, they've been preparing to bring us onto the petrodollar system in 1971. So we are down to that area already, except we're on the back end right now. And every time the initial jobless claims, if you look back in history, I'm looking at a graph right now, every time they're at their lowest point, we enter this incredible recession, depression, and everything turns down. We are at the lowest of low points for initial jobless claims. I mean, we're going back to when we came off the gold standard and we moved on to a new system. And of course, the country went into a recession. We saw high inflation. We saw people losing jobs. You couldn't get fuel. Now we're coming off of that system that we were put onto back then. And our initial jobless claims, they're at that level. I mean, is this a coincidence? I don't think so. Because what is happening right now, the entire system is going to be moving away from the old dollar system into a brand new system. And we can see with retail deteriorating, we can see with credit card usage at its highest we've ever seen, the savings rate at its lowest we've seen. We see right now real personal spending month on month has declined in January. This is the biggest drop since January of 2016. And it looks like the everyday American person is completely tapped out right now. Now, the Fed is out there, and they are signaling that they're going to raise the interest rates 4 more times, gradually, just like they did back in 2006, 2007, until the system completely fell apart. And I do believe this is what they're trying to do. I think we're at this point where the economy is so bad, it's deteriorating so quickly that everyone is in this gigantic illusion and they don't even realize the system has already crashed. The market right now is fluctuating, and we see countries around the world dumping the dollar. Not talking about dumping the dollar, actually bypassing the dollar. China, Russia, Venezuela is using their cryptocurrency. They're using other currencies. And Iran was talking about it. Now they officially come out and said, we are no longer using the US dollar in trade. And they're saying that this is not going to really be a big deal because of all the sanctions and everything. But what we're seeing here is each and every one of these countries, they are starting to move away from the dollar. And this is going to pick up steam. We've been watching it, and we've been seeing how it's been picking up steam as we move forward. The reason why this is all happening is because the world is losing faith in the dollar system. They understand, they know that the dollar system is dead. Now, the central bankers, what they do, they don't tell the people. They give a heads up to the governments. They know eventually that the system will be transitioned to a new system. And these countries get prepared. They don't tell their people. This is an inside type of knowledge that they understand, they know, and they start to maneuver and they move away from the dollar. I mean, yes, there are other countries that have heavy sanctions where they had no choice but to move away from the dollar so they can survive. But those countries, the developed world, the emerging markets, they already know that this system is dead in the water. They already know they need to move away, and they need to move away very, very slowly, because they can't all just come up and say, listen, let's everyone dump at once. Boom, the whole system is now moved over. Because people will question it. People within each one of these countries will say, wait, what just happened here? Why did we do this? Why are we struggling now? They like it very gradual. They are very patient, the central bankers. They never make quick moves. They always make very slow moves so nobody becomes the wiser of what is going on. And this is exactly what we're seeing right now. They've been making this move. Now think about it. Go back in time. What have they done? As they were telling us this is better for the country, they have been moving manufacturing slowly out of the United States. Most of the gold in the United States isn't there. We still have some. That's why Mnuchin was out there showing you that gold bar to keep confidence in the country. We know it doesn't exist. Or he would have opened up all the vaults and said, look at all the gold we have. I mean, just showing one bar, you have to use your imagination that we have the rest. That's what they like to do. It's called propaganda. And we see right now, slowly but surely, over a very long period of time, and I remember going back in time when people said that the middle class is going to completely disappear. Guess what has happened? The middle class has disappeared. Now we have the wealthy and we have the poor. And this is continuing on. They've done this over time to prepare the system for the new system. But they don't want people to recognize what is happening. The only time you realize what's happening is when it's too late. And this is why we've been reporting on this. This is why we've been telling people, because you don't want to be left out there saying, okay, I had all my funds in dollars. They were in the bank. I have a pension. I had stocks. And now we're transitioning to something else, and those dollars, they're worth not $1 anymore. They're worth 3 cents. That's what they're going to give me when we transition. Now, gold, on the other hand, is going to be reevaluated. Because on the new system, just like it was reevaluated back in 1930-something, when they said, listen, give us your gold, we'll give you all this paper currency, and it was $25 or whatever it was an ounce, and they upped it to $35 an ounce. I mean, the amount is meaningless. All we know is that it moved upward, and those people that were holding gold, they made out. Why do you think China and Russia have been amassing gold? It might not be for a gold-backed currency, but it's to build confidence, to let the other countries know if something goes wrong, we can back the new system. That's why this has been happening, because the manufacturing, the jobs, the trading system, the payment system, they exist in the East now. The entire trade route that they're building right now is in the East. That's where it originates from. All the investment dollars are going towards that. They're pulling it from all the countries where they used to be buying real estate. That's drying up. This is why Canada's having a problem. This is why Australia's having a problem. This is why you see the United States, the housing market declining. It's all being pulled out. And eventually what's going to happen is that countries will start to dump the dollar quicker. And no one's going to report on this. The corporate media is not going to say, hey, did everyone realize that this country just dumped a dollar, that country just dumped a dollar? No. They might say something, make a quick blurb, but they're not going to let you know that this is because the system is moving. Now, once again, they just can't move the system. They need something in between to explain why the system is moving. And that most likely is going to be some type of an event. And they'll explain it away that this event caused the credit markets to freeze. The stock market came down because of it. And most likely, I think everything is leading to a cyber attack. But we'll have to see how this all plays out. But the most important thing here is for those people that have been preparing, you need to continue to prepare. Those people who are just starting, start preparing. Make sure you have food, water, supplies, gold, silver, cryptocurrencies, yes, dollars, because you'll need that in the beginning. And when everything comes to a head, people are going to be sitting there wishing they did this. And it's going to happen no matter what. I mean, in 1971, we came off an old system, went on to a new system. Back in the Depression, we came off an old system, went on to a new system. 1940s, we did the same thing. And it's going to happen once again. Somehow, some way, they're going to push this, and it looks like they're doing it right now. They're raising the rates. The central banks are pushing their agenda, and it looks like they are ready and prepared to bring everything down. Because they realize that there's two transitions happening at the same time. One where there's cryptocurrencies, and they've been telling you that they're very afraid of it. And the other is the central bank transition. That's the one they want. And they are pushing very, very hard right now. And we'll have to see how long this goes. But I don't know how much longer, because the economy is breaking down very, very quickly. No matter what the corporate media says and how great it is and how retail's just changing everything because they need to adjust, they're changing everything is because the people of America cannot afford to spend anymore. This is why the GDP continually moves downward, because 70% of it is spending. The central banks can't make people spend. They can't make people get jobs. They can't create those things out of thin air like they can with currency. And this is their major problem. This is why they're talking about universal basic income, because they're hoping if they do that, people will go out and spend and they can keep everything functioning. But I don't think that's going to happen. I think they realize it's time to shut it all down and start up the new system as long as they can explain it away. Because if they are blamed, guess what? People are going to question, why are they running the new system? So whatever you're doing, get prepared and get ready. Listen, everyone, thanks a lot for listening. Be well, be safe, and especially be prepared. Thanks a lot.